Hi everyone, welcome back to Tech Booth. Today we are looking at the Godox X2T Flash Trigger. What is a flash trigger? Well, it's a radio transmitter that you put on top of your camera on the hot shoe so that you are able to control speed lights or other flashes off camera. With this particular speed light, it also has a hot shoe on top, so you can actually place a speed light on top of your camera and control it using the trigger. When you're getting your flash trigger, make sure that it is compatible with the camera system that you're going to be using, and is also compatible with the flash units that you're going to trigger. So this flash unit will trigger Godox flashes like this TT600 and work with this AD200 Pro because they're both Godox, but it will not work with this Yangnuo 564. So make sure when you're buying your trigger, buy the correct flash unit to go with it, and also make sure it's compatible with the camera system that you're going to be using, because this hot shoe is specific to a specific camera model. And you can see that by looking at, in this particular case, it says X2T and then it has a C. That means it is compatible with Canon camera systems. If you have a Nikon camera, then you need to buy one that says X2T with an N. They make these flashes for different cameras, so make sure you get the right one. Let's take a look at some of the parts of this flash trigger quickly. On this side, you have your power switch. That switches the unit on and off, but you also have a switch there to switch on the autofocus assist beam, which is located at the front of the trigger. The autofocus assist beam helps your camera to grab focus in low light conditions. On the opposite side, you have two terminals. One is your 3.5mm PC sync jack input. This is where you plug in a cable that you can use to send signals to flash units to cause them to flash if you are not doing it wirelessly. And then you also have your USB-C port. This is what you use to update your firmware for your unit, and we recommend that you keep your firmware updated. On the top here you have the letters A to E, and these are what we call groups: group A, B, C, D and E. And those groups are the groups of flashes that you're going to be able to control independently using this unit, and we'll see how to set that up in a moment. And then you have the flash test button. This is what you use when you want to test to see if your speed light and your trigger are actually communicating. So when you press this to test, the speed light should go off if they are configured properly. Let's look at the front. The first button is your mode button, but it also acts as your lock button. In the mode function, when you press it, it toggles between three settings: the TTL setting, the manual setting, and the multi-mode setting. And we're going to take a look at those three as we go on. When you long press it, you lock the screen. Once the screen is locked, you will not be able to change any settings, and it also protects the unit from accidental changes in whatever you've set. The second one is your menu button, self-explanatory. So when you press it, you enter the menu system. The second function of the menu button is called modeling lamp, and when you long press it and you have a flash unit that is capable of turning on a modeling lamp, this will turn that modeling lamp on. Now, a modeling lamp is basically turning your flash into a continuous light source, so the light on your flash just stays on. The third one, your set button, is what you use to make selections. So when you go into the menu, you make a selection, change a value using this dial at the bottom, and then you press set to accept whatever you have changed using this dial. When you long press it, you select multiple flashes or multiple groups at a time, and you can make changes to all of them at the same time. Let's set up our Godox X2T to work with our Godox TT600. Press menu, and in your menu, scroll until you get to the scan item. When you get to scan, you want to set to accept. You have off and start. Scroll down to start, press set, and you'll see that the unit is now scanning for frequencies that are the most useful in your area. This is optional, especially when you are indoors, but it's advisable that you just scan maybe once so that you have no problem with interference when you are shooting. Once scanning is done, the unit will show you all the different channels that are free that you can use, and then you scroll down to the next item, which is a channel. Click set, and then choose the channel that you're going to be using. Click set to accept. Click menu to exit. The next thing you need to do is to go to your speed light. How you set the channel would depend on the speed light that you have. On the TT600, this is how you do it. You press down on the mode button. You see the wireless icon flashing. You then scroll to the right until you see S. That means this is now in slave mode. In slave mode, this speed light will now be able to accept signals from the flash trigger. Once you're in slave mode, you then press down on the group and channel button. You make sure that the channel that you've chosen on your trigger is the same that you have on your speed light. Set to accept. Also make sure that the group is the same. So this speed light will be operating on group A and the channel indicated. Once you've set the channel and group for both, you can use the flash test button to just test that everything is working fine. Okay, so that's working fine. TTL mode is more or less what we would call the automatic flash setting. When your unit is in TTL mode, your camera evaluates the lighting situation and adjusts the flash brightness to get the right exposure. If after the camera has chosen the flash power to use and you feel that the picture is either overexposed or underexposed, you can adjust the power compensation on the flash trigger to reduce or increase the flash power to get the right exposure. If you need to add other flash units that you want to control independent of each other, then all you need to do is to add those flash units on the other groups that you have. So in this case, we've added this flash unit on group A. All we need to do now is go to group B, and now you have this flash on group A, you have this one, group B, and you can continue adding other flashes to group C, D, and E. And that is it, the Godox X2T, very easy to set up, very affordable but very powerful flash trigger. So if you are transitioning to more advanced photography and you want a trigger to trigger your speed lights off camera, this would be a really good addition to your photographic arsenal. I hope you found that useful. Thanks for watching and see you next time on Tech Booth.